Guess what? It's day 10. So, real quick, if you're jumping in on day 10, let me tell you what we're doing so you don't get confused. First off, my name is T Styles. I am an urban fiction thriller writer. I own and operate the Cartel Publications, which is a urban fiction publishing house. We've been doing our thing since 2008, babies. I have written over 90 books myself, screenplays and the like, but my love of my life is the Elite Writers Academy, where I teach people how to build their book empires using story strategy and what I consider marketing magic, because there's nothing like writing your book and not getting a coin. So I teach my babies how to do that through the Elite Writers Academy. So if you want to learn how to be prolific and get money, join us, baby, at the Elite Writers Club. I got you. So this is day 10 on our How to Write a Book in 30 Days. And we always start with a quote. This quote says, "Don't be boring. Don't assume every thought you have is fascinating to others. Your job is to give people a reason to keep reading." Dave Barry says, authors do a great job of writing without considering the reader. And then they want somebody to buy their trash. In their minds, once the book is written, it should be worshipped and cherished. Some may even go as far as to think that they could place their book next to the Bible and either would be sufficient for prayer. After all, I've achieved the impossible. I have written this book. When the book is published and the responses are lackluster, they don't understand why. You know, it's like, hey, I wrote this trash. Don't you love me for it? No. This is why I didn't want you to do an outline, not on your very first book. It's not that I don't believe that they will come in handy later, because they will. Outlines are essential to stay in the course. But there is another method to my madness that I haven't always divulged in terms of why I want writers to do their very first book without doing an outline and to just keep writing, okay? But there's a method to my madness. It's because using outlines often get people stuck with plot and characters, and it will prevent them from writing the book. The 30-day process is in place to get your creative juices flowing. It is to get your mind into understanding that I am going to be a writer, okay? Remember, we aren't interested in just speeding car chase. We are interested in who your people are. And by using this 30-day process, you are basically taking them out on a date. You are wining and dining them. You're trying to see what things that you like and what things that you don't. How do you make the characters pop? You paint their pictures. And you paint their pictures through visualization. And I got an example right here. It says, Shelley gripped the steering wheel. The sentence isn't bad. We know that she's gripped it. She gripped it for, it could be a lot of reasons why she gripped it. But one of my favorite ways to make things a little bit more artful, to make things a little bit more descriptive, is Shelley's hands gripped the steering wheel as if it were the bar draping her legs on a roller coaster ride. So you know how the bar be down here and you grip it. So now you know that there's a fear component. So when you are painting a picture, it's okay to use analogies. You know, it's okay to do that. Remember though, unless this analogy flows, don't bother with it. Like, I don't want you trying to do a lot of this like this. She did something like that. She did something like this. His face was as handsome as the Denzel Washington's, whatever. I don't want you to get too far in that. I really want you to write your story. But if it flows, it's okay to put it down. People have seen the bar on roller coasters and they can picture it in an example. So in their minds, they imagine how tightly she's holding the wheel, as if her life depended on it. Always be visual in your state of mind. It's not your job to assume the readers will get the picture. You have to make them understand what is going on, okay? So the creative exercise for today is think of two analogies and write them down. Why do I have a feeling I'm saying this word wrong? And if it is, it's terrible. But think of two and write them down. And see how you can use them for later. You know, there are websites, there are books that have analogies and stuff like that. So you just have to find the one that works for you, and then go from that. But what you're trying to do is just always be using your mind. The 30-day process is in place to allow your creative juices to start and for you allow them to flow. Don't hold back because you don't understand the method to your own madness. Allow it to flow. And when possible, do these exercises to widen your base, because eventually when you're talking about being prolific, you are going to have to do outlines. You are going to have to do these things. And by working with the 30-day process, in addition to beginning to understand story structure, you will be better suited for the long haul. This is what I be saying, I got you. Listen, babies, on day 10, I'm super proud of you. Most people would have quit. You haven't quit. Do not give up. I'm very, very proud of you. And I mean that because I know what it is to write a book. I know how much you give up. I know how it feels to want something so bad. And just by being consistent, you are showing me that this is very important to you. Okay? You know what I'm about to say. Get to writing, babies.